What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just want it all. Oh, what you know about me? I seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me?
We going back to back, y'all. Y'all know what day it is, man. It's our favorite day. It's Pod Day, man. I'm your host, as usual. Welcome to More Than a Title, episode 192. And you know I got my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO, Chatty. What's good, baby? What's going on?
I'm excited, man. Listen, I'm excited. I'm still a little jet lagged. I'm still on Cali time. You know what I'm saying? We just got some more good news today. It's fucking Pod Day. How much more excitement can a man take? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I'm ready to go, baby. Adrenaline on 100.
What's good? Take us into it. Let them know. Let them know what's up.
I mean, you already know, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of More Than the Title. I'm gonna say it again because I've said it before and I haven't steered you wrong. We got another phenomenal guest today. I guarantee you this guest gonna drop a bunch of gems on you guys. So, you know, get your notepads ready, get your record buttons ready, because I guarantee you're gonna love this guest. We've met him before, and listen, this guy goes hard, man. He has a lot of business acumen, man. He's successful, and it's gonna be a phenomenal show. But you know how we like to start it. G&T, grateful and thankful. So we're gonna start it like this, man. I'm grateful for all of the new supporters, cuzzo. All the new supporters that started following our journey, man. Thank you for all the new supporters, man. We've been getting a ton of comments. We've been getting a ton of friend requests and follows and everything, man. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. That mean the message is getting out there, and y'all feeling the vibes, and y'all rocking with us. So we're grateful for that, and we're thankful for all the people like Mike Barron, like Bandman Kevo, man, like this brother Lynnwood that's on the show, for providing us with the opportunity to continue to bring you this show in the capacity and at the level that we provided at. G&T.
Yes, sir. And before we begin, real quick, a shout out to our distribution partners, that Live Podcast Network, first woman-owned, black-owned podcast network in the world, y'all. So if you want more content from great content creators like More Than the Title, make sure you pull out your phone, scan the QR code, and half of your subscription goes to your content creator of your choice, y'all. So not too many platforms giving it up, and you know we rocking with the home team. We don't just talk, we walk it. And it's a good time to be alive, you dig? So make sure you support.
What a time to be alive, baby. What a time to be alive.
That's it, man. Now let's get his brother the proper intro that he deserves, man.
Let's start the show.
Let's get it rocking, man. So to give you guys context, man, this brother, like I said, man, he's been somebody that's been on my personal journey from day one when it comes to this podcasting thing, man. I met this brother on LinkedIn. I asked him to come on my show. I was trying to just figure things out in my career. He's a CEO of a major company, and even aside from that, he was just a real brother. You know what I mean? Real brother told me, yes, I will come on the show. Gave me game. Didn't have to, man. Gave me an hour, you know, and look where we are 5 years from that moment. And look where we are today, man. So let's talk about it, man. He's the CEO and founder of ReachTV, which is premier black-owned MBE certified airport television network in the United States. Under his leadership, ReachTV has transformed into a powerhouse. 2,500 screens, 50 million monthly viewers, and partnerships with major players like the NFL, LIV Golf, and TikTok. He's had several successful exits as a founder and building tech and e-commerce companies with a combined of $2 billion in revenue. He's also a CNBC contributor, speaks regularly at conferences about the future of TV and advertising, but it ain't about the numbers. It's about the innovation, his partnerships, his creating content that resonates with millions, from Where Chefs Eat to Cultural Eats. His work is reshaping the landscape of media, and you've seen him on Variety.
Boom.
You've seen him on Deadline. You've seen him on Front Office Sports, Age, Entrepreneur. You've seen him at Black Week, and now he's coming to tell a story for the very first time on your favorite podcast, More Than the Title. Let's introduce our brother, Lynnwood Bibbens, y'all. Come on, man. Woo, $2 billion in revenue. Woo!
Crazy. That's crazy.
Woo! Yeah, man. Thank you.
And listen. Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, we use the word brother because we've actually met Lynnwood more than once, and it hasn't been an opportunity. We even surprised him at his own event. He didn't even know we were showing up. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of our guests, be clear, we tell you this all the time, a lot of our guests on this show, this is our first interaction with us, actually meeting them and getting a chance to speak with them virtually. But we've actually met Lynnwood on several occasions. And you know, we don't fucking be up here blowing no smoke and telling no lies. Every single time I met this brother, it was the same exact energy. He's always accepted us and welcomed us, man, and just, you know, provided that inspiration and that knowledge to us. So that's why we call him brother, man, because he's been true to his word, man. So that, you know, we don't use that term lightly on this show. We appreciate you. Word up.
Appreciate you.
Real.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I would like to start, man, for first-time listeners. We want to get into the mindset, man. We'll get into the business decision, man. But let's talk about growing up, Lynnwood. What was like growing up, man? Some early influences, man.
I mean, my early influences are my park. I grew up in Jersey, and we had a park across the street called Hillside, and that's where, you know, back when I grew up, you wasn't allowed in the house, so your neighborhood was your family. So we were in the park. You know, street lights came on. I was back at the house. But until that time, I was in the park, and I think it developed a sense of community and brothership and sistership that we still have to this day. You know, platforms like Facebook, whatever you think of them, one of the things they do is allow you to stay connected to people you grew up with. So I got people I grew up with since I was 49 years now, you know, so I've known them that long, you know, so and, you know, when I do well, we celebrate each other. There's something about pulling for your family, and I'm always going to protect them. And that's how we grew up. And in my household, it was always, we weren't allowed to be negative. We didn't know what we didn't have. And my grandfather was a leader on the positivity side of it. And he was always pushing you to say, when you said, how you doing? If you were complaining, he'd be like, what? By the way, he was 6'4", 260. So after he asked you a couple of times, you knew you was ready to answer whatever he said. But that positivity is what really rubbed off on me. And you know, I just watched him grind. You know what I mean? Like he came up from North Carolina and came out being, he was in the Navy, coming up into New Jersey, starting his own business, being an entrepreneur in there, running a garbage route, then, you know, selling that, and really just focused on it, even though it wasn't for a big sale. It was just the fact that, you know, watching him grind on that while I was a kid when we didn't have much, it was inspiring to know he got up. You know, it's one of those things where he just, no matter how he felt, you would never know. He got up every day. Now, you know, there was days he didn't feel like getting up. Those are the days he really got up, right? Everybody else. And then, and what I also learned from there is how we had families back then and a community where you get checked by everybody's family. I mean, I had probably like 10 different families, you know, walking down the street. So, and, you know, we just had, you know, when you're young, you don't know what you don't have. And I think when you get older, you realize you weren't missing much.
Message.
That's real talk.
So,
can I ask you something real quick? Well,
yes.
what was some of the best game that your grandpops gave you?
Oh man, he was. I think he had a way of having a beat when you would talk. What I mean by that is, when I got older, I started to see what he was really doing. Sometimes you would ask him a question and he would wait a second. A lot of times people jump in, and he was just waiting to see where if it was really for him, if it was really for you. So a couple of times he said, just wait, they'll tell you what they want. And I remember him saying that to me so many times, just wait, they'll tell you what they want. And
Message.
Watch him talk. And that was his way of just waiting till you tell him what you really want. So I learned that sometimes I go in meetings, sometimes I'm on a call. I put myself on mute to not to interrupt, and also to give myself a beat, to wait to make sure, because they may tell you more and more and more and more. So that's one of the things I learned from him is patience, hard work, patience, grinding. And he used to say this all the time: nobody really cares about what happened to you. Meaning, and it wasn't a bad message. It was one that when you interact with somebody, he would always, you know, keep back to, even if he was upset, you would never know it when you met him, when you ran into him, because he said it's not fair to them. They don't care what happened to you earlier. They kind of came to you for something, and you're giving them some of your stuff versus giving them what they really need. So it was something I always focused on a lot.
Bars.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really. It sounded like your grandfather was like the gentle giant. I ain't even gonna lie. 6'4", 220. Your grandfather was Debo. You know what I'm saying? Like you go ask him the wrong question. Your grandfather like,
raise up, gonna be trouble.
Yeah. He had them old school fingers. They were like two of mine. His one finger. I'm like, yo, I ain't messing with it.
Wait, you got a question real quick too. You got a question from Walt Gear, man. He said, "What about that hat, man? What's the brand, fam?"
Yeah.
So look, see the hat already.
I got a couple. I got my girl Jen Cornelius. Shout out to her and her shop. She just wants something for Oprah. I have my boy Bellissimo up in Brooklyn, and then I got this one in Napa from another small shop up there. I think this one's called GG Pip, but what it was. I just like the style of the brim and how hard it went. So I was like, let me get that, John.
When we go to Lexington for the horse derby, I'm gonna hit you with the phone number. Like, yo, Lynnwood, need one of those, baby.
Hey, Walt, when we was in the green room, as soon as Lynnwood came in with the hat, I said, you and your pimping shit. You came to pimp our listeners, huh, Lynnwood? Yo, Walt, we got on as soon as he came. We seen the hat. We was like, oh, no shit already.
I was gonna go without it, but I was like, nah, let me bring it to the. We have the family reunion now. We could bring what we want already.
There you go.
Absolutely, man. I wanna say this to you. So it sounds.
And by the way, tell Walt, man, he's been the inspiration to a bunch of people. He needs to understand that. I remember watching his post and the bravery of that post. That shit that really brought me to tears because I know how hard it was what he wrote. I know how hard it is dealing in the rooms he walks into, and I know how hard it is for all of us that play in this space that we have to walk a fine line of being who we are, making sure we take care of our families, and make sure we take care of ourselves. And I think that third leg is what people forget. You got to take care of yourself so you can take care of the other two things.
Got double.
Happy for him.
Baby. So what I was saying, Lynnwood, was we have a lot of people come on, that become entrepreneurs later on in life that didn't start out with that type of influence in the household. But like you said, your grandfather was already an entrepreneur. So kind of like before you even understood what being an entrepreneur was, you were kind of getting groomed for that because he was such a major influence in your life with having the business and things of that nature. So my question is, you see, go ahead. You want to chime in?
Black people grew up being entrepreneurs. We had the stores in my aunt's place down in North Carolina.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like we were always taught on barter. I mean, if you really go to the core, we didn't call it entrepreneur. We called it the shop. We called it. Here, my uncle doing would you need a carburetor? I got you. You know what I mean? Like we grew up with it. We just weren't getting the economics of it, but we knew how to do it. It's one of the things that I think, what's his name, John Bryant talks about a lot, is that we, Black people in particular, we know how to drive culture, we know how to drive revenue, we know how to drive a lot of things, but we got to start driving as being a little bit more capitalist so that we can start making more of our net worth, our equity in some of these businesses that we're growing so that we can then pass that on. The biggest thing I don't want to do, and I'm in a group chat with 34 guys I went to college with, and we all think we got more time than we may have. And I asked, how many of us got our trust, our will, I got a place for somebody to go get it, right? These are things that if you don't, they'll take it. Government take your cut versus setting this up and giving what we do have to our next generation. They should not start at zero. Message. I hear when I think about some of the most amazing creative people that run this country, run the world, we are not owning enough, right? And I don't care. And sometimes people forget. I like to make this joke sometimes. Like, you look at Jay owning a piece of the Brooklyn Nets. People talk about it was only $40 million. That was like 1%, and it came out to be $40 million. right? But people forget about this. He did freaking 40 dates for free as part of that. Now that's 1 million a day. That's another 40 million. So like just that little piece of equity opened the door for another 40 million, right? So we got to think about Jeff Bezos only owns 16% of Amazon.
Right.
Right. So that means the other people own 84%. So, you know, really.
But we don't openly talk about this.
We got to. You got to start saying, I'll give you another number.
Talk about it.
2,500 Black-owned media companies. 2,500. You're in the 1% if you have more than 10 employees. I'm going to repeat that again.
Yeah, no, that was, I couldn't even press
1%. There's 2,500 Black-owned media companies. And you're in the 1% if you have 10 or more employees. Let me go further. You're in another 1% of the 1% if you do more than $10 million in revenue. Shit. So, I mean, we got work to do. We're the Nielsen numbers came out. We're driving our economic impact on a yearly basis, not 1.2, not 1.3. It's $2.1 trillion.
Yeah.
Right? Let me tell you something else
that
people don't talk about. We are the youngest by race of our demographic. There's 48.2 million Black people in this country. 48.2 million. We're the lowest median age. 52% of the people that are Black are under 35. We have to. That means you guys know how this new media works. You know how the platforms work. You're on streaming. You got this one. You got this. You're across platforms. You got programmatic. You got ways to make money in ways that we never had access to. When I talk to people and they ask me to come to schools, I tell them the best thing that ever happened for Black people, technology. It's the method advisor in the world. They don't know what I look like. They know they see me in every airport. When I walk in the room, they have no idea it's me. You know what I mean? Like, and nor do I need them to know that. Right? But the fact is, with technology, I was able to compete with someone 10 times, 100 times, 500 times the size of me. There's more technology that came out. How do we teach each other how to utilize that? How do we teach each other how to collaborate? How do we take our data and our platforms that are driving this 2.1 trillion and connect them together so we can then collectively sell against that entire ecosystem, culture and influence? That's where we got to go. That's where we must do it, because what John Bryan is saying is that our net worth in 2037 for Black people will be $0. We are going to spend the next 12 years to get to zero. Wow. That is unacceptable to me. We need more Black people, Black media, minorities in general to actually start to have some equity in what they're doing. I don't care if it's stocks. I don't care if it's real, equity in starting a business, but we need to turn our mentality to be more capitalists instead of workers. And I'm not saying everybody's built to be an entrepreneur. Let me squash that now. If you're an entrepreneur, be prepared that for the first 5 years, you're not going to make any money.
Pain.
Yo.
Suffering.
5. Now when Instagram says that you can open up an LLC tomorrow and then next day you could do 10 million, and that's not happening. 5 years, 0. Can you grind to that? Are you that committed? If you're not, work with somebody who is. Get on that team. Get a piece of that. It's no shame in being the guy behind the guy, hoping somebody else build it because they have a bigger vision, but you see it too. But you need that guidance to be before you take on and do it yourself. Nothing wrong with that. We don't all have to be CEO of this and of this. I've had partnerships where I wasn't the CEO. I ran my own division, but I had equity.
There it goes. But that's what we preach that all the time, Lynnwood. Everybody want to be MJ, and it's okay being Ron Harper, BJ Armstrong, whatever it does to get the ring.
BJ was nice. Yeah, we got that nice jumper. Hit that, 15-footer, done. Got you.
Come on, you need that. I mean, you need that on the squad, man. So, like, Man, but a lot of times when we talk to a lot of different creators who own platforms, black media, the problem is us as black creators, we don't really know the worth of our IP. We know what it is, right? You know what I'm trying to say? And we don't talk enough about it to say, yo, what does that mean? What deal are you getting from this brand partnership? What does that look like? That information is getting bartered.
Okay. I'm gonna address this since we're being very blunt.
Okay.
That is being built into us. Inside the way that the structure was education, the way we've been taught to go through it has been that there's one seat on the table.
There it goes.
Right. And so you have a mentality that for a long time, and I was in different markets watching this happen, is there's only one seat. And instead of saying, well, if there's only one seat, I don't want that. I'm gonna go build a house. I'm gonna go get some rooms. I'm gonna put a table there. I'm gonna put a bed there. I'm gonna do this. That collaboration between, for us in particular, had not started in my career through a bunch of different ways. Hadn't really started until about 2011 and 12. And then we started having this movement that came, and way before George Floyd, I saw it like 17, 18. In the film and television space, you started to see it. I think we're starting to understand that we can be individual and collaborative at the same time. And that's dangerous for everybody else. If you really want the truth of why DEI is really being canceled, they're just using it as a code word. But the reason that DEI is being canceled everywhere is because it's working.
Message.
Right? Look at what I just told you. The youngest demographic race in this country is black. 52% under 35. You asked the question, I've been asking this question for 7 years. What's the data that proves that black culture drives pop culture? I just gave it to you. 50, 35, that means we know how to play the algorithms. We know the systems. That's why we're better at doing those things. We're in it. We grew up in it. You guys are more natural at it. I'm learning it. You guys are in it. So when I look at now, for me, I need the data point to show me how I can then talk about it. We got it. And that's what we gotta look at the fact that what they say to you on most cases and how I'm treated differently is because we have scale. So a lot of times that's the excuse not to give the dollars that they should to platforms that are driving influence at the level they are. It's not about impressions, it's about influence. What's your influence on here? Right? And what you guys have is influence, right? So how do you take that influence, syndicate it so you can get the scale you need, and everybody wins in the ecosystem? That's technology. That's the new cookieless first-party data, queuing it up, partnering in a syndication, working on a platform, a company like Bomisi or a company like this, and putting everybody Black Week in Hero, creating one place that we can syndicate, get our profiles, do our things, and really drive it. And I'm talking business because, I think I've talked about my personal life. I talked about some things that we're doing, but what I want to talk about is how we, as a collective, we can start uplifting each other. So
watch this, Lynnwood. Watch this. But before you go off, we got a special guest that want to come on and talk that talk with you, baby. There we go.
Let's go. What we talking about?
There we go, baby.
I gotta pull up. Hold up. My camera's acting crazy right now.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Right.
Only him, man. We can have this real talk.
Big bro out here too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yo, I just had to pull up because I was like, yo, my man's dropping heat right now. Then when you get me hype, I was like, yo, this nigga's getting me hype. I gotta get me hype.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Because the reality is, I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. Reality is, man, ain't nobody coming for like nobody's coming for us to help. You know what I'm saying? So like we gotta, what are we doing to create opportunity for ourselves? What are we doing to bring up individuals that look like us because we're not doing enough? A few of us that make it on some I got my check, I'm good shit. You know what I'm saying? And especially now, man, the moment we are in, which is crazy, it's like they are coming for us, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Coming for your job, coming for your life, man. And it's crazy. So what are we doing to help create opportunity for us, man? We got to come together. We've said this shit a lot of times, but now is reality. We got to make it work. And it's crazy because, and I posted this post probably a couple days ago, maybe 3-4 days ago. This brother MLK speech, MLK Day, he gave this speech and it was wild. He said like, he was like, what did he say? He said, you know, they, you know, white folks said that we were too dumb to read and write. And then they created laws to prevent us from reading or writing. So like, and the point he was making there is like, yo, they know what we do. They know what we are capable of, right? But they will tell you that you are not shit, while behind the scenes they are extracting all of your greatness, right? Yo, they said you were lazy and made you a slave. You know what I'm saying? They said you were dirty and you clean their house. You know what I'm saying? They call you, you know, a villain and this and that, and like, oh, you're this and, you know, rowdy and this and that, and we take care of their fucking children. So the point is, you know what I'm saying? We need to all understand and know who we are. We need to know and understand what we bring to the table. Because, man, we are fucking greatness right now, you know what I'm saying? And if the minute we realize that and understand the impact and the power that we actually have, like in our buying power, real talk is if we all were legitimately like, tomorrow I'm not buying shit for a day, 24 hours, 24 fucking hours. Do you know the impact that would make?
Yeah.
And how fucking loud and clear of a shot that would be?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all, man. My man got me hype and I had to come through. I'm not trying to fucking
This
shit.
motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking.
That guy is good.
We can't use Snoop as the clips anymore. Snoop is off. Snoop is off. Yo, that
You heard
gets
it from
a
more.
cut.
We gotta take him more.
That nigga gets a cut. You could post this clip, tag him so he can see this. You could put my name in the shit too. Off.
Yeah,
We love you, big bro. You know that.
I would just say this, Walt. You know, you're on the phone now. Walt's in the creative. I'm in the media side. We're doing live sports. We're 1 degree connected to everybody that anybody wants to be with. And what I tell people all the time, and I'm pretty sure Walt will join me on this. I offer stuff to people all the time. Yo, You need a business plan writer? Call me. I'll send you the format. I say this all the time. I said it at universities I'm speaking at. I said it in big conferences with thousands of people in it. On a regular basis, less than 1% of people reach out and ask me for the business plan.
Message.
I say I will read it afterwards. I did this with 2,600 people. I got 2 fully completed business plans. 2.
Mm-hmm.
2. And me and my buddies put money into that one. Like I'm saying to you is the fact is we also got to hold ourselves accountable to do the damn work. Can't and do that. No, do the work. We got to walk in the room being excellent. We got to be in a room being extraordinary. Like stop with the bullshit, get to work, grind, but take care of yourself, right? Like, because we need you to be here because there's only a certain amount of voices that we got. So you got to balance the shit out in this way is how do I take care of myself so I can do the shit I need to do? How do I take care of my family to protect it? So if something happens to me, I'm protected. You know, like that. Well, I will tell you this. That day you wrote that letter, I sent a text to 34 guys in my group, in my fantasy league chat. I went to college with all of them. And we sat there and everybody was quiet for a second because I said, how many of us have signed trusts, wills, everything that we know we should have for everything? Not what we prepared, but signed.
Yeah.
You know, in the last, couple months, 75% of us got it signed. That's because of you and what you posted. It made all of us realize we got to make sure we're protecting our next generation, our families, our businesses, from somebody just coming in and looting our shit. Yes, but also, it helps you mentally know you only live this thing once. So to Walt's play, I'm going to live with passion. I'm not doing shit that I don't care about. I'm not doing shit I'm not performing it for nobody. I don't give a damn. Like I'm in that position. You don't like what I am? Hey, that's your thing. I'm going to still keep going. What I tell everybody and I'm going to say this very harshly, but I've been saying this for 4 years when they started this DEI thing. So number one, only thing I want to talk about was equity, because the diversity in my company is none of your damn business, and who I include, I'll make that choice. I'm pretty good at picking the right people. I don't need you to do it. I want the equity though, because I need your funding and your investment like you do to everybody else, so I can keep the equity in my company. What I will say though is when I studied it, because I used to study minority business ownership all the time, and the DEI was the exact same numbers, 77% white women. You know where black people fell on that list? We were number six behind Asians, Hispanics, veterans. I mean, shit. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying to you is the point. The reason I say that is DEI didn't make none of us. It didn't do shit. We were all the way down. If 77 is number one and we're number 6, you're talking about something that affected like 5% of us. What are we talking about? 95% of us have been doing our shit without it. So all this talk about DEI, this and that, I don't care what Target does. Can Target help y'all on this call make money, and can I help drive that? Cool. If not, they can go somewhere else.
Message.
You gotta listen to him. You learn something.
Is holding us back. It's not got shit to do with it. DEI has not affected a damn person on this call. Not one damn person.
Nice.
And here's a blunt point, because Walt's here, so you can second this. Every time I walked into a meeting and someone put me with the multicultural person, I asked the same exact question. Do you have a budget? And the answer was no. How many people work in your division? 1 or 2. That's not a public. Like, these companies are 20,000, 30,000. You got 2 people? Come on. What are we talking about? All black-owned media got to go talk to the person that got 2-person team? I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Facts. Well, man. First of all, love, man. I appreciate, calling out that post and shit like that, man. That's love, man. I appreciate that, man. But also too, I'll say that, man, when we even get on the topic of, setting up your family, setting up your children for when you are gone, because like tomorrow's never promised, man. I tell people that all the time. It's never promised, man. And what people don't realize is that a will and a trust, bro, that shit is like $2,000 to get done.
That's it.
Like $2,300. It's like you take shit that you own, like your house. Your house is no longer in your name. Your house is in your trust name. You set up your kids to get that. And then real talk is like, because people don't know that, like, if you die tomorrow, and your kids are left, that shit would take a year plus for them to get your shit.
Message.
You know, and they'll make them sell it. And they'll make them sell it.
The court is a motherfucker.
You'll tax them on your property, and then they'll have to sell it. And now somebody else has something that was an asset that was going to grow is gone. So there goes your generational wealth, stops right when you go.
Yeah, and a trust, that shit is immediate. You have a trust in place. It's immediate. Your child is under the age of 18. You have somebody else you execute, who can execute on that. Everything you have written down goes directly to them, and they get that cash, they get that house, whatever it is, immediately. So I tell everybody, man, it's so important. It's so important, man. You knock one of those out. A couple $1,000s is well worth it, and that piece of paper will last you a lifetime.
Yeah, and I would love you guys, man. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I appreciate what Walt's doing too. I think there's more power in bringing. Forget about these people, fake telling people what to do on the internet. Let's bring real tools. Let's create a site that allows you to go into a tool. I was doing this with DLA Piper in 2012. We said starter kit, click, flat rates. It had your starter kit you set up. It had your shares set up. It tell you what to do for insurance. It would give you the click, download this, and that would be your starter kit. Then you go over. I tell people, there's a company now. It was just starting in NASDAQ private marketplace. If your company's a nice size, you can go over there. That's private, but under NASDAQ things, you can issue shares to your employees so they can be a part of your company. There's Carta. There's other things out there right now that you can make people in your company have equity in your business so they are a part of it and they're running with you, right? There's ways of doing the same thing that public companies do with private. And the tools are there now. The tech is the equalizer. You don't need to have a $200 million, $500 million private equity firm behind you. You can download Carter. It's like I don't even know. It's like a $99 subscription. You can set up your whole thing in there, and boom, done. Get up $100. Like to Walt's point, some of the things I'm talking about cost $500, cost $7,500 one time set up, and now your company's set up. We just got to do the right things now to start helping each other. Because to John Bryant, I am going to keep saying it. We got to become capitalists. We have to. I do not want to look back at 2037 and Black people as a whole have a net worth of 0. That's the trajectory we're on right now.
Yo,
I gotta run, fellas.
All right, man. Take care.
Hey, baby, you know how you pull up, man.
Big dog. Keep inspiring, y'all. I love it, man.
Right.
You had me all hype and shit. I was driving for school.
You got me hype. I'm like, yo.
I think it's the hat. The hat got me hyped up. So I don't know.
What about that hat?
Easy,
I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do, Lynnwood, because like we said at Black Week, when we were doing the interviews at Black Week, we told each and every guest that we interviewed there, we're gonna hold you accountable. I promise you. And we see you next year, if nothing has changed, we're gonna hold you accountable. So this is what we're gonna do, and we make this promise to you. You send us that information. You send us all the information that you just talked about, and I promise you, we will start setting up something. I don't care if it's one person that tunes in, because 1 + 1 is 2, and then 2 to 3, right? That's a fact. Me and my cousin, we make this promise to you. We are not gonna have you on this show and you give us information and we don't do nothing with it. We're not doing that. What we're going to do is we're going to take that information, we're going to turn it to knowledge, and we're going to put action behind it, right? So we're going to take that information, we're going to do our research, and we're going to start spreading that shit like a virus. You understand what I'm saying? And
let me do one thing. And it's something my uncle taught me. Navy guy out of Norfolk. Shout out to the U.S. Navy and Norfolk. We almost say Norfolk.
Yeah, I got some bros down there. Shout out to them.
He taught me this, and he was casually talking about one day, and I think what was I like? Right before I was about 16, and I had said, you know, it was a popular phrase: 1 + 1 = 3. You know what I mean? If you do this, then do this. And he said, I always hated that phrase, and when all the guys that were under me, I used to tell them, put 1 next to 1 in front of me. Go ahead. He go 1, 1. He goes, that look like 3? What it really looks like is 11. That's the power of 2 people, 2 entities coming together. That is how powerful it is. It's not 3. If it's done right, it's 11. Message. Each other.
I've never heard that. That's crazy.
Oh, that's what I hear. When you hear me say 1 + 1, I ain't worried about no damn 3. I'm looking at the power of this is 11. So, you know, there's more power in collaboration than you ever can imagine, because now you add another one to that. And you add another one to that.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, that's the fear that people have.
Yeah.
Is that we're actually going to become a community of collaboration. Because look how powerful it is.
Okay,
you on mute, cuz
Yo, between you and Walt, both y'all together is a cheat code. We in here talking to real, man. That's why I swear to God, I love what I do, man. I love this platform. I'm love that we're able to have brothers like you come on and really talk to real, because it's not going to be we can't have this conversation on ad age.
Right.
We can't have this conversation on variety. And guess what? This brother's right now where I'm from is looking at this conversation like, what?
Yeah.
Where looked at ReachTV and said, what he does, that's who he is?
Right.
Walk right by it. Don't know it's me, but that's a good thing.
That's
we gotta, you know, before we go, because I know we got time here, but I will say this too. Let's just be open and honest. We gotta hold. Losing people in your family, losing family members, what's your purpose here, right? And before I knew my purpose, what I figured out is I knew I wanted to be extraordinary. And I'll give you, there's bad, there's good, there's excellent. And extraordinary is just one line above, but the level of work that you got to do to get to that extraordinary, but the level of reward when you put in that much work, when you get to extraordinary, isn't just that big, it's this big, right? It's the fact is, do you want to be extraordinary? Because that means you're going to get up at 5 and do the work. That means you're not going to look at the clock when it's time to clock out. That means when it's time to write something, you're going to finish the writing. That also means like when you own a business, your service is going to be on par. Your service is going to be out of the park, right? And let me tell you one thing I don't do. Black businesses never have ever heard me say, "Can you send me that for free?" I don't do that. My support is the opposite. Yo, I saw your shit. And they're like, yo, let me give you something. I'm like, yo, I'm wearing it.
Yeah. That's
you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever call Nike and say, let me get that new fire thing you put out. I buy it.
There you go.
The biggest support for our other businesses is buying them.
Message.
And I'll tell you something else. This is the funniest story. Good friend of mine, I won't say his name, Jewish guy. We talked about community and support in our community. And he gave me a great analogy, which was somebody comes up with a business in Jewish community, in this community. Everybody thinks the business is a good idea.
Yeah.
That's what I said there, right? Everybody thinks it's a good idea in this group that they talked about it. You had the idea. You're going to go execute it. Now, you're not executing it. The community thought it was a good idea. Community is not going to lose that business because you're not executing. The community is going to lift it up because it's important to the community, your great idea. So come around and make sure the business still operates. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. That is where you really have a community-led, community involvement, community engagement. We got to get to those type of things. When I heard that, I was like, damn, I never heard that, never really understood it. And that's just, to me, that's a smart way to uplift your own community. That's a smart way to make sure there's something missing from your community. Somebody came up with an idea to bring it, but it's an essential thing to the community. Got to make sure it's there. We got to start uplifting each other, holding each other accountable. Yo, your service ain't good. This ain't right.
That's it. Yeah.
Yo, you're running this to run a business. We needed to be here 20, 30 years as a service to this community. You got this is missing, this is missing, this is missing. No ego. How do we make it right? And use the word at the end for our community.
But you know what we do in the community? We'll fucking go online and make a bad review on it, shit on it, put it online. Well, and that's what we do as a community.
But that's what I'm saying. This is your chance to lead that the other way.
Absolutely.
And when we want to support, I see it. So what I'm saying is when you have a bad situation,
call it out. And
call it out directly. Not in this damn public format. Let me kiss. Yo, it's not for that. It's not. Right now, it's how do you uplift that person I'm an entrepreneur. We struggle. We miss something. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Right? Just tell me. Give me a chance to fix it and help me. Because I'm in it. I may not see what you see. So I think we got to take the empathy. We're always giving empathy out to other people. Give it to us. Yeah. Like, stop all the BS. Give the empathy to the people that deserve it. Give it to people that have been traumatized. Give it to the people that when they see a light, we get fucking anxiety. Give it to the people that understand, like, go through things. I'll give you the last thing, and I'll let you guys go. But we did a pilot kind of test with this company. It was fabulous. They did it, and they would tell me about it. And I was like, I got to see this. The question was, people are walking through the airport. They did this in Australia. They said, hey, let me see grab your phone and call one person and tell them that you love them. You can't talk, but you love them. Can't wait to see them. 5 women, 5 men. Nothing to do with black and white, just 5 women, 5 men. The women, oh my God, girl, I love you. Da 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 da. Yo, I can't wait to see you. Yo, girl, I can't believe how sweet you are. Have a safe flight down. The men. What's wrong? What happened? You okay? You good? Like, what's wrong? Like, yo, FaceTime me. Let me see what's wrong with you. I think something's wrong. I don't believe that nothing's wrong with you. We're still not even at the point to just say, yo, I love you, man, and let it be. There is still things that we got to understand that there's a stress level that we are all kind of trying to figure out a way to manage. And so we got to just take a step back and stop being so damn judgmental on things and look at how do we help fix them. Because if you're not part of the solution, to me, you're always the problem.
Here's the problem.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. This is you going
about that all the time, though, Lynnwood, and I just want to say this to you. You know, we like you said, we show so much sympathy to other cultures, but when it comes to us, and like you said, it really doesn't matter who, because all neighborhoods are kind of the same. We don't have that level of forgiveness for each other. We don't have that level of sympathy for each other. We don't have that level of encouragement for each other, because we still have the mindset of, if I encourage him and if he succeeds, then I fail. Even if you're not doing what he's doing or she's doing, you could not even fucking want to do that. Like, I don't even want to do that. But if she win or he win, somehow I lose. Like that's what we're battling every single day, right? And it's like the question is like, how do you get past it with so much of the media portraying all the negativity around us and not portraying the positiveness that we're doing, not portraying, you know, the black banks that we got now and all these, you know, things that we got now that are helping us, with so much negativity always being like around us at all times? How do you kind of break that mentality for these people? Like, what is it going to take?
Can I say something before you continue, bro? But look what happens to us. Look what happens to you and I, cuzzo. We're never jaded because we know the mission, right? But how many people, I'm gonna tell you right now, same thing you said about 2,600 people. I got 2,600 people in my neighborhood. Ask me how many people ask to hold a camera. Ask how many people to say, yo, I got a cord, I know this cord, can I do this? Y'all got this idea. Or just simple as shit, just like the post. I don't care. Sometimes I don't even care if it's my brother's working. If I see he got the mindset, my brother working out 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm liking it. Keep going, bro. Sometimes we don't even get that. So I just want to see. So when we go through those paths, right, and we going through all of this, all of the back and forth, man, we deal with a lot. But guess what? We're doing it for us. And when we get there, we're gonna hold the door open for everybody. But we gotta go through the shit. Help us go through that shit, man. We gotta change our fucking mindset.
I'm gonna give you the answer that probably is a little different than you're expecting.
Okay.
The answer to this question isn't anybody else. The answer to that question is there's one voice that you talk to more than anybody. It's the one in your head. So you have to start to look at, we have to find ways to heal ourselves, take the noise out of the room. Like when I wake up in the morning, I grab a Wall Street Journal for real paper. I read the left-hand side. I open to whatever story I find interesting. I do my workout first, come back and read that, have a cup of coffee. I'm doing a 10-minute meditation. Again, you don't hear me saying I open my computer up to do, because you got to find ways to get around the noise. I don't watch regular news because it doesn't portray what I see every day. It doesn't. It's, to me, it's when you have an organization that's led or ran and the way they operate is if it bleeds, it leads. I'm not interested in that. So I protect my peace by not engaging in things that bring me into a different place. So I would tell you that it starts with yourself, number one. That's the most important. Number two, I'm going to, I think sometimes we all are just human. I just don't really, you got to get to a point where, and it sounds negative, but it's not, where you just don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if my boy doesn't like my post. I don't give a damn.
Facts.
You know why? Because I still love him. And I don't know what he's going through.
Facts.
Right? You know what I mean? So what I've gotten to a place was I used to be mad. I used to be mad at, yo, why don't you come support me? You right here, right? Like I'm in the game. I'm in this. I'm in it. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what he's at his job. And people are saying there's no good black people here. And he's the only black person in the room. I don't know what's happening to people. And I just thinking to myself, maybe I'm putting my shit on them. And they're going through shit that I'm not being there for them. Maybe I'm not a good enough friend. So I started doing my certain people, like just saying, yo, you good? And getting that 5-minute warning, like, you good? And finding out if they're good. And if I don't like the answer, I'll say, yo, let's talk. But I think what we really just got to do is, I agree with where your matter is. It's my old adage of emails. When somebody sends me an email, I write the one I'm really thinking, and then I laugh and delete that shit and then write what I'm going to write.
Yeah, I like
I'm
it.
not deleting it, Lynnwood. Me and him argue
I
all
ain't
the
above being petty.
He
So
said
sometimes I
delete.
don't like that shit.
Lynnwood, I send that first one. Me and him argue all the time. You send me an email, I'm like, wait a minute. Did you just say this? Cousin, you can't say the fuck that. This is how I'm feeling right now.
See, I've grown to a level where the first email I laugh for myself is entertainment to me, making sure my writing skills are still on point. I delete that one and then send the second or third one, depending on what mood I'm in. But I think we got to get to a point where we focus on, are we the best version of us? And we don't know what the other person's going through. So let's assume the best. Let's assume that something's going on with them. Let's assume that they got, like you were saying, for empathy, let's give it to the same people who've been with us forever. Like, let's go to your cousin that been there for 40 years, been there, right, in the trenches. They got love. They just don't, maybe not discriminate the way you want it, or they're going through something else. I just think we got a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different way of looking at it because it brings it brings that stuff on you
instead of
because guess what? The only person that really matters how you're thinking is you, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing will ever stop me because of that.
We just saying accountability though, because just hear me out on this real quick.
Yeah.
When we talk about accountability, right? Everybody that starts to succeed suffers from almost the same thing, survivor's remorse, right? Because we come from such, humble beginnings. Once we start making it, our natural instinct is to, bring as many people with us as possible, right? So, when we talk about accountability, we say like, all those dudes that might not do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Once we get to a certain level, because that nostalgia, because we've had that 20, 30-year relationship, you know what happens after that? Then they come a knocking. Then your phone won't stop ringing. Then them text messages come in like, yo, bro. Now that they see that you've obtained a certain level of success, I guess that they deem is like acceptable or at a certain level. Now they want the support that you didn't even support. You didn't support me, but now support because you feel like I have the resources to give it to you.
So can I give you some quick advice on that? When I was 26, 27, 28, I had all this happening, right? And I won't call anybody out, but I'll say it this way. I changed who managed my checkbook, so to speak. So I was hooking everybody up and I'm busy. So what I decided to do was my accountant took over anything. And everybody wanted anything from me had to go through my accountant. My accountant set up, what's your repayment plan? My accounting, now there's certain things I set up for people. But after that, you're not helping somebody when you propping them unless you're helping them grow, right? So, and a selfish shot it is. If you don't call me on my birthday, you don't call me on other things, then we don't need to talk other times.
Cousin.
This is what I'm trying to say, bro.
Lynnwood, your Cuzzo, let me tell you, Lynnwood, you done struck a nerve right now because me and Cuzzo done had so many conversations where he said that, like, hold on, let me get this straight. I done did ABC, I done did a motherfucking birthday text, and he goes off. That's his limit. Like, I couldn't even, on the one day,
because I'm the type of person to go above and beyond for somebody else. That's what we do, man. We stretch ourselves thin, and it's like I just don't like like you said, the accountability part.
Just take a step back and say, this is where I'm at. Right. And what happened was it took a little bit. There's people that I fell off with for a little while, right? Because I wasn't changing the standards in which you were going to engage with me.
Exactly.
Right? Like, here's how I'm going to engage. You want to borrow money from me? When I give it, I know I ain't getting it back, but there's at least going to be a plan for you to pay me back, right? Okay. Or it's just a quick thing. But if you're borrowing money on a consistent basis, then you need a job. Let me see how I can help you earn that money versus giving you that money. Right. And then I type of things in relationships, and some people don't like to hear that. They don't want that accountability. And I say this, being an entrepreneur is not, it's like when Jordan talks about being the star of that team and it's not a popularity contest. It's not a popular. I'm very comfortable by myself. Like I enjoy. If nobody was here for the weekend, I would not have any anxiety whatsoever. My feet would be up. I got my books out. I am very comfortable with myself. Although I'm around a lot of people, I like being by myself. I enjoy my own company. And what you got to understand as an entrepreneur, you better enjoy that, because there's going to be a lot of lonely nights, a lot of long days, a lot of sacrifices you're making. And you just got to understand that not everybody's built for this ride.
Message.
That's okay. Everybody plays their role, right? And then I try to find roles for people that I know that can work and be it. This is a great spot for you, right? Like, if this is what you want, but you got to tell me what you want. I hope, if I know anybody. But for me, I know, again, I told you what my standard is. It's extraordinary. And if you're not on that, it's not for me. And I'll use Nick Saban quote: high achievers hate mediocre people. Mediocre people hate high achievers.
Shit.
Now, Lynn, when you go, it's an overload. Instagram's going crazy. Twitter's going crazy.
Instagram is going crazy
right now. LinkedIn is going crazy. My bad, LinkedIn.
Going crazy.
Oh man! But do you have a hard stop? We have like another question or two. Do you have?
You got a couple questions? Yeah, I don't have until 6:45.
Okay, bet.
All right, cool. We got 10 minutes. Man.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think. I got so many goddamn questions. I really want to ask you, where did the idea of ReachTV come up? Like where did that idea come about?
The come about of ReachTV was a combination of, I came from a tech background. I understood where revenue was being generated, and I'd done film finance and understood content rights. And what I saw was this quote will help you go through. Everybody says content is king. My thing is content is king, but distribution's emperor.
Message.
Because I've seen great filmmakers, content makers, still have to sit there and beg to get their content on a platform. And the idea I was doing was build a platform so we have our own seat. So now when I built ReachTV, I built it to get the rights window. Very similar way I built this was how Netflix created their own rights window.
Exactly.
So remember, they created, there was an SVOD, AVOD, there was no such thing. It used to be digital, then television. Netflix created this one. I created one to the right of digital. That's how I was able to get 190 hours. I could afford to bring that in and really scale this up without any outside investment. So that is how we were able to bring it together, was being creative and looking at the thing and going, I may not be able to compete here, but there's a window here that nobody else understands. And technology will put me in a place where I'm the equalizer. And then I can turn around and license content from all of the people that I want to get content from and bring it to the masses at scale. So that's the idea behind Reach, was I could bring content makers on as partners. They own their IP. I help them sell it to digital, television, international. And now we walk into rooms with ownership. So when we walk in, it's not about you greenlighting it. It's already been greenlit. It's about you getting your window if you want it. If you want this hot content, go ahead, license it. But already, it's mine. You don't own the IP anymore.
There you go.
Right? So that was the genesis behind it. And then as the TV's evolved, I focused on what can I get to get people to want to entertain and want to watch. Live sports has been a pivot we did in 21. Now from 21 to 25 now, NFL, NBA, WNBA, NASCAR, Live Golf, college football, college basketball, HBCU sports. I mean, Miami Open, Indian Open, we're going because we know it's important, but we're still bringing on content and originals and partners, and did the live tailgate with Sean Merriman, looking at opportunities to work with people and create windows and opportunities and partnerships that I think are going to be uniquely for the next 5 years, 7 years, 8 years. So that's the genesis, is getting our own seat at the table, giving content creators their own IP ownership, and being able to go into that ecosystem and not have to feel like the same gatekeepers are the gatekeepers. Because when you own your IP and you already have distribution and you're already making money, they can't really tell you anything.
Come on. Oh man, come on, man.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Cuzzo, me and you just had this conversation.
Yo, come on, man.
So Lynnwood, we was talking about it, right? Because we've been in a lot of talks with a lot of different networks. Like, we'll talk to you. We've been in talks with a couple different networks now. We're on a network, but now there's a lot of other networks, talking to us and things of that nature, right? And once you start being in these meetings, and this is why it's so important to be able to get in the room to have the conversation, right? We could be like, we're doing a certain amount of thing, get into a meeting and be like, oh shit, we ain't really doing what we thought we doing. God damn, like, wait a minute. Look, we thought we was hot, but God, this is what it takes. But it's dope because what it does is, again, it gives you a different perspective of what it takes to get to the next level, right? To get to the next level, what work ethic, like you said, okay, we put in a certain amount of work ethic to get here, right? But now that we want to go from here to here, now we got to put in this kind of work ethic, right? How do we make now this happen to now have a better conversation, you know, moving forward? But this is the same exact conversation that me and my cousin had yesterday, right? Ownership and distribution. That way, when you have the conversations, you have leverage, because it's all about skin in the game, right? It's all about skin in the game, right?
You guys invested this much time to build this platform up, to build what you're doing, getting the trusted people to come on here, spend their time, and it's a platform that's needed because it's a hybrid between two things. This is why I said to you earlier, your show isn't about impressions, it's about impact.
Right.
So you gotta take that away and tell them the impact of the people that you're bringing on and what that means to culture, what that means down the road. This becomes their own, you know, this is a Bible you go back to and you look at and you go, I want to learn about that. I look back on it. And I will tell you that the thing that what made me, somebody asked me the other day, what's the thing that really drove me? Well, I'm writing a book and it's going to be called, I came up with the title. I haven't written it yet, but I got the title. And I'm going to tell you the title because I don't care. It's called Scale and Fail.
Okay.
I am great at scaling. I'm great at failing. And people never understood that. I fail every single damn day, all the damn time, because I'm always curious. I stay curious. I'm always finding new ways. Let's try that. Let's try that. I don't care if we fail. I built failure into our model so that we can be the winners.
Message.
You got to fail to succeed. You can't stay in this bubble. How the hell are you going to go to the next level? So that's one of the things. And the reason I can fail and the way I can scale is I build out workflows.
Okay.
So when you were asking me just now, what's the workflow? It starts here. It moves to here. It moves to here. It moves to here. And then I look, well, there's a better way to do this.
Right.
There's a better way to do this. Or is there a better way? Right. Can we find something? Yo, I got a partner here to get, why am I making this? I can get that from you. So then you start to ask yourself when you lay out the workflow, what parts of this can I be more efficient? What part can I lay tech? What part can I put AI? What part can I ask all kinds of questions every day. They even call it, and my tech team calls it Woody time, not their normal tech time. I just don't. I don't know bullshit, right?
You're too much. We gotta get. Time is wild.
Hold on. Then when you said Jim, but I just didn't like that. That's not for you. It's for your team. Don't you ever say this is Woody time.
Yeah. Oh, well, my nickname's Woody.
Yeah, we know. YouTube go crazy.
That's a crazy pause. Otherwise, yes.
We got one more question for you, Lynnwood, before you go. Because you came on here and you dropped so many gems, you dropped so many gems and so much knowledge. Obviously, we get hundreds of thousands into the millions of impressions. There are going to be so many people that look at this and they're going to come up with, I'm pretty sure the common denominator question is, if they're a small business that has a media or anything like that, and they want to be on ReachTV, how should they go about approaching you, right, as a small business or somebody with a media company to start having a conversation of how do we get on ReachTV? What are you looking for? What does that look like?
Normally, I would say send stuff to submissions at ReachTV and all that. I'm gonna go a different way.
Okay.
Because you got to understand what I'm building and what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this one more time to be really clear. I am not trying to be good. I am trying to be extraordinary. Don't bring me bullshit. Focus on what I'm airing, which is live sports, right? And we all have had this experience. You're watching any one of these sports networks, all of a sudden you're into the groove, the commercial break comes, you see the GM commercial, and the next commercial looks like somebody shot it in a living room on a iPhone. I'm not into that. So what I'm saying is, don't bring me that. If you want to bring something to me, bring me something that has an impact and could have something that is great shoulder programming for NFL. I want to know that you thought about travelers, what they're doing, what's impactful. Like, don't just bring me what you already got. Bring me something that you know that I would need.
Message.
So we get a lot of submissions. Some don't make any sense. Like, I'm not running a comedy show right now. Like, that don't make sense for me, right? But you know, you got a pregame show or the catwalk coming down on the Kansas City Chiefs with the, you know what I mean? Some guy who's doing the judging of the outfits. That's funny. Right. So I need thoughtfulness. Right. I keep telling people the best way to make content isn't so much about spending money, it's spending thought and time. That nobody wants to put in the freaking work. Put in the work, come up with an idea, develop that idea, really look at it and say, is that really an idea or not? And then who's going to be in it? How would you shoot it? Can it make sense? We're not a Netflix. I'm not spending $2 million an episode. You know what I mean? That's bringing me a scripted thing with, look at what I am, at least pay attention a little bit of what I do, and submit me something that matches what we are.
Message.
So that's it. And then send out the submissions at ReachTV.
Shit.
Big bro, man, we're gonna end this off, man. We're gonna end this off and just say, man, yo, big bro, man, thank you, man, for being you, bro. Thank you for being a part of our journey, man. Thank you for everything that you do, man. We have a word that we just adopted over the weekend, man. A friend told me, we consider you that. We just put our number on it in the group chat. If you can, put your number, big bro. We want to start a group chat, you, I, and Cuzzo. And we got a lot of big things coming up. And first of all, we're gonna announce it here. We are the official podcast of CIAA, y'all. More than a time coming down there. We are the official.
Listen, we just came back from Cali and we shipping out on Thursday. We'll be in Baltimore. Yeah, we coming down there, B-more. So we're gonna be down this weekend. And also, Lynnwood, you know, again, a lot of people are gonna get in contact with your company and, you know, follow you. And, you know, how do the people get in contact with you and follow you to get more knowledge and just follow your journey, man?
I'm on LinkedIn. I think I was one of the first people on that damn thing. That just shows I'm old.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn too. Don't say that.
Nah, I'm just saying it. It just shows I've been there a long time.
Yeah.
Instagram, I'm on. I got, you guys have my number. I have the same number for 32 years. Right.
Yep.
I'm the easiest guy in the world to find. Right.
Yeah.
I don't have handles that have different names as my name. Right. So I'm just easy to find. And our team is growing, and we're really focused on, again, as you can tell, everything I'm looking for is extraordinary. I'm not really trying to play the small game. So anybody wants to get on that journey, reach out. Because I'll tell by the way you reach out and what's in that context if you're really about it or not.
That's it.
Clear.
So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another, and I'm going to use his word, extraordinary episode of More Than the Title, because Lynnwood don't do average. So if he coming on our motherfucking show, then that lets you know this show is extraordinary. You dig what I'm saying? So he done came on the show. We told you he was going to drop.
He warned you.
Oh my God! If you didn't learn nothing from this, rip your fucking ears off.
You're not extraordinary.
It's not for you. You know what it is, man. This man has been grinding. He told you that he's not afraid to fail. He told you that I fail every single day with a smile on his face, because you can't have success without failure. That reiterates what we say every single time to end this show. The dream is free.
But the hustle is sold separately, y'all. We see y'all on Thursday. We out of here.
CIAA, baby.
About me, seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just one.